My taxes are done, and there's real Kahlua in my drink tonight. Tonight, on the road to 40, with me. Bonjour, Jason Oliver. Yeah, my taxes are done. I got my W-2s yesterday. All I really needed to do at that point was plug in the numbers into the fields they needed to go in. I was done. That was this. Knock on wood. It's just gotten easier and easier to do taxes every year. This year was like, maybe I spent an hour doing them just because I was going over it with a fine-tooth comb, maybe massaging a few numbers here, just see what happens. Massage a little number over there, and then come clean and just go straight with it. I had a friend, I won't say his name, but he used to massage the numbers a lot, and they never caught up with him. That's a fictional story. He doesn't really exist. Ooh. I won't go too deep into taxes because you guys know I talked about it last week. I used to have to do it over the phone, the touchstone. I mean, you would wait months to get your money back if you had money coming back. And so now it's like everything is so quick. Like, I filed it yesterday as soon as I had, yesterday, this morning. As soon as I had all the information put in, I knew how much we were getting back. I felt comfortable pressing the submit. We were a very low risk for audit this year, which I was very happy about, so I didn't even consider buying the audit protection, which is, of course, going to come back and kick me in the ass. But I have receipts for everything that I put on there, so. Or if I don't, I can prove it by using the interwebs. And, excuse me. And just go into my account and going, hey, that's that. So many little things I want to talk about tonight, so we're going to piss through these real quick. Okay, so I forgot I had D&D last night. We scheduled it 2 weeks in a row because sometimes it just works out that way. It's extremely rare that it works out that way, but when it does, it's kind of nice because you feel more into it, I think. You know, when I was younger, I'd play 3-4 times a week. I can't do that anymore. I just don't have the time. So Katie and Alex came over and they brought the rest of their bottle of Kahlua they had and left it here. Now it's going in my motherfucking tummy. And shit. It's pretty good. It's so much better than Kapali. And see, this is perfect. This is an example of what you're going to see. M'lady? Now, a word from our sponsors. Trapture. To be captured in a trap. That is all. Back to you, Jason. Real Kahlua. So good. And I don't get it for myself because if you get the same size bottle that they had would probably be, probably about $35, maybe even $40 for that. The one I get is anywhere from $10 if I can get it on sale to I think $14. And the vodka's just stupid. The big bottle of vodka I get's $11.92, and that'll last me a month now. Anywho, so having the good stuff every now and again is just such a special treat. It really is. It's a treat for my tummy, my nasal cavities. Smells so much better too. It smells so good. So, top shelf, you got Kahlua. I'd love to give you a little history of Kahlua, but I don't know it. It's a coffee liqueur, though. It tastes like coffee smells, if you've smelled coffee. Not quite as bitter. It's definitely got more of a sweetness to it. So it ranks in at a 10 as far as coffee liqueurs go. Kahlua, every product I've ever tried of theirs is just well-made, clean-tasting flavored alcohol. We've got coffee-flavored alcohol. I've tried the French vanilla, I believe. I've tried the peppermint one at Christmas. That one's really good. So much better than that other mint stuff I have out there, which was $6.50 a bottle versus maybe $21 a bottle. So there's your, top and the bottom. The bottom is I've had all three other that you can buy around here of coffee liqueurs. De Kuyper doesn't make one that I can find around here, so I haven't been able to try theirs. But Kapali is probably like a 6.5, 7 on that scale. It's the next shelf down, or it might be, the next shelf down, and it still got that little sweetness. The smell's not there, but it does keep the drink a little darker, which I like, actually. Because when I know how dark it is or light it is, then I know it's going to taste better if it's a little lighter or so on and so forth. So it's nice to scale with. Cafe Lolita. Cafe Lolita is really good. I would say it's just underneath Capalia at like maybe a 6. It wouldn't be my first choice. It doesn't have as much flavor at all. You have to add a lot of it to taste it. And that's not how I want my drink to be. And that's a huge waste of liqueur as well. So they're the next step down. But the worst of the worst, and I wouldn't recommend this to anybody unless you had nothing else and that was your drink, like it is for me. Copa de Oro is like a Mexican knockoff that looks nothing like Kahlua, smells nothing like Kahlua, and definitely doesn't taste anything like Kahlua. It's just not good. It's thinner, so it doesn't darken as well. It's incredibly impossible to tell how much you've added after you've added milk. It's always pretty much white. This is, this is real Kahlua. That's how I kind of like my... I'm right above my keyboard, too. It's kind of like almost like a gray, like a pale gray, except it's tan. So whatever that descriptive word for that color, tan, would be. Dusty, sandy, I don't know. What else we got here? Taxes, real cool. True crime. There are people out there that go out of their way to read true crime. Now, if you don't know what true crime is, which I'm sure most of you do, true crime is a genre of a non-fictional genre of stories about true crimes that occurred, and they go into great detail. The detail is just amazing. You'll love it. No, and I have a friend I know that reads, or two maybe, that read true crime, and they're definitely just normal people. They're not crazy. They don't get off on like murder or anything like that. But it just surprises me that anybody can read true crime and just be okay with it. Because, I mean, it's horrible stories that sometimes end good, sometimes end bad, but mostly end bad. It's almost like just the bowels of literature. Like, it shouldn't even be considered, well, not literature. I guess it would be considered literature. It's just not good. It's like it's like the tabloids of the book world, in my opinion. That's how I feel. Because they do, obviously, the classic ones, too. I'm sure they get some O.J. ones out there and Michael Jackson ones. And they just go into these sick, probably fabrications or stretches of the truths. Anywho, I question people who read true crime. Because it doesn't seem like... It's almost like you're watching the news for the bad news. That's the best way I can put it. Like, that's how I feel about true crime. Like, it shouldn't be written. I mean, unless it's an informative piece, that would be understandable. But if it's not informative, if it's meant to be shock and gross and stuff like that, then don't write it. I mean, you have every right to write it. Feel free to write it. If that's what you're called to do, then do it. I'm just saying I don't think it's worthwhile reading stuff, material, books, letters. That's all I gotta say about that. Do you agree? Disagree? Feel free to disagree. I just don't think it's good stuff. You gotta surround yourself with good stuff in the world today. Alright. Okay. I meant to talk about this a while back, and I don't know if I ever did get around to it or not. I think maybe I did. But I'm just going to repeat myself if I did, because I can't remember what I said. I'd have to go back and figure it out, too. You know how hard it is to find old videos because I name them stupid shit? And I'm like, what does that mean? What was I thinking when I wrote that? Because I had to have something to do with the episode, even if it was minute. Like, it could be just pulling a word out of it or something like that. But I can't find old stuff. So, what music would you like to hear played at your funeral? If you could be there to hear it, wouldn't it be great? I think if there is anything beyond this world, I think it'd be nice if at least the universe let you go to your own funeral or after party or whatever. You know what I mean? Just to be like, yeah, I gotta go. Yeah, got hit by a bulldozer. Yeah, fucking bulldozer. Yeah, that sucks, huh? It's a good way to go out. Yeah, it's nice knowing you guys. You know, wouldn't it be great? That'd be a beautiful thing. Just be like, okay, You're gonna die tomorrow. You're gonna get hit by a bulldozer. You can't stop it. It will happen. Go live your last day. That would be pretty cool. I guess you can't do that because you would know about it. But the music, it's so hard. Like, I honestly don't know. It would obviously have to be like a playlist I'd have to come up with, but definitely My Way by Sinatra, Frank Sinatra, not the other Sinatra. Just because it's tied to me in such a way with like the whole tribute video I did for myself, 10 years ago, 11 years ago now. It's just silly and goofy, but I mean the song, it left its mark. Maybe some uplifting stuff. Definitely some Tom Waits. Oh man, I love that guy. What a wonderful musician. So I can't really answer that to the fullest, but I wanted to bring that up just if I hadn't brought it up to you. It's just a fun thing to think about. Sometimes I'm driving around and that's the type of stuff I think about. Like, wow, I could accidentally swerve into that pole right now and die. Like, if I die, what music would I want at my funeral? Hey, that's a good thing to talk about on the road to 40 tonight. And then I have to pull over or risk it and text myself just so I don't forget it. Because sometimes like this list, I emailed myself today at work just so I'd have it. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I do have one announcement to make. For those of you who like to share legal media, the piratebay.se is back online, folks. So today I went over there. I had it bookmarked and I refused to get rid of it. I'm like, you know what? I just have a feeling like that bump in my wrist I just popped again. Whatever is going on in there is not good. I haven't talked about it in a while because I haven't been able to get it to like it's been inflamed, I don't know, engorged. And so when I pressed down on it this time, it was almost like a tiny grape if the skin was about 4 times as hard to pop, and then you squeeze it and it's just like it releases. I know it's gross. I'm sorry. I'm a bio creature. Funeral. Whatever. I don't really want a funeral. I just want people to like hang out one more day or, do something in my memory and enjoy the day. Love it. Love every moment of it. I can't watch the Super Bowl. Now, if you haven't picked up on it yet, I was from New England originally. Probably about 45 minutes south of Boston, about 20 minutes north of Providence. Like, people in that area love their motherfucking sports. Like, it's nobody's business. And I like watching the Patriots play throughout the year. Win or lose, I like to watch the highlights and see, how they play it or whatever. But when they make it to the Super Bowl, I'm at an age where I'm getting a little fragile and a little frail. I don't think my old heart can take it anymore. No, I'm just a whippersnapper. I know that in the great cosmic scheme of things. In the great cosmic scheme of things, I am nothing but a blip. Boop, gone. That's it. Awesome. Well, I'm going to leave as much... See, this is why I could never be boobist. I'm such a boobist. Or a Taoist. Like, I don't care after I'm dead if my mark continues to exist. I just feel like it's nice for a family or people who want to know more about a person to have left a mark. You're part of history in a way that does kind of grant you immortality. Like, obviously not your soul or whatever you call it. But yeah, my soul can't take watching the Patriots or the Red Sox play. The Celtics, I don't watch basketball at all. But it's nice when they win. I mean, I remember the days of Larry Bird and Kevin McHale and Magic Johnson, and I remember back then I used to watch a little bit, but now forget about it. Okay, this is a two-sided thing. I may have talked about this once as well, but it really has been grabbing me lately. And I say things sometimes, and I don't want to be the angry person. I don't want to like share my anger with you, but I feel like in this case, it's a worthwhile cause. Like, I'm not really even angry. It's like I'm not crazy about it, but I feel like the internet is dumb. Like, the power we have as people, and look what we do. We look at cat videos and like we share like all this dumb stuff, which is fun. There's camaraderie in that, there's friendship in that, and that's a beautiful thing. But there's just, I don't know, the massive things we could do as a people, sharing information with other countries rather than trying to hide everything behind these giant walls. Like, what if we just tore all those walls down, man? Like, could you imagine, as a species, us all working together as a like mind, or like-minded creature, a civilization, working towards the betterment of all mankind, both now and, a million years from now? Like, I mean, if we can continue our species like that, who knows what they could do? Who knows if, like, a billion years from now, they discover something that can clone your DNA, and all of a sudden you're alive again in a billion years. Could you imagine that? Like, holy shit. I just got hit by a train, didn't I? It's always getting hit by something. I hope I don't get hit by something to die. That would suck. Unless it was quick. But even quick, I don't want to go out that way, man. That's dumb. I hate that. I don't like cars. So I'm officially unregistered as of, well, about 2 hours and 47 minutes from now. So now we start to play the game. I got to pay personal property tax that went, I'm not even going to complain about it. I should have paid it earlier. It's just I didn't have the money at those times. It just didn't work out. I had to keep the lights on. I had to keep the water running. I had to keep up communications. So it just never got paid. Carol's I paid right away because I didn't want her to have to deal with that. But with mine, I'm like, you know what? If it has to go over, it goes over. We have one car. We'll have to figure something out. It'll suck for a little while, even just a month. Now, if the taxes, like I was talking about earlier, are just as fast to come back to you as they are to go out, then that would be awesome. Because last year we had to wait. It was about 3 weeks. It was right before Mysticon. And I was like, shit, man, I'm not going to be able to get my prints done. I have no money. I can't do them. And then it got deposited on a Thursday night. And I immediately sent them over to the guy that prints all my prints. I was like, Dan, I am so sorry about this. This is absolutely imperative and critical. If there's any way you could get this done by, I think I was only going Saturday, so I was like, Saturday morning by like 9 o'clock, you would be the best. Well, I never got a reply or a response. I thought a lot of times he'll just drop my stuff off at the store. And it never showed up. So finally I was just like, well, I'm going to have to pick like 2 or 3 that I like the most and then just bring them to, not a Petco. What do you call they deliver things? FedEx, Kinko's. I love that there's people that drive to work and actually play this in their car. I'm like, that's awesome. You don't know how much nicer you just made my day by telling me that. Like, I appreciate my friends. Like, I appreciate every friend that watches this show a lot, more than you'll ever know. Like, I don't know what it is. I just feel like, even beyond the fact that I want this for my, family generations from now, there's a part of me that just, I feel like I'm trying to establish something here. And we're at the bottom rung of the ladder, and it's going to take a lot to dig our way out. But I feel like we're on the right road to success. I got to talk in great detail about three shows. The Top Shelf Bottom Barrel. I got to talk with Jim about that, and Ken. I might try to get him on like an episode here or there. It's going to be tough doing 5 people, though. I think 4 is perfect. So as long as I can get Matt and Vic once a month, maybe twice a month, and Jim and Ken, even if they alternate, that would be a cool show, I think. And as you can see, there's a lot to talk about with Top Shelf and Bottom Barrel and the comparatives. Now, all these people also, mind you, they're all very successful. Well, yeah, successful writers. Matt has written for Rolling Stone. He has done reviews of CDs that you've probably read if you read reviews of music. He came from Boston, where I came from, and he has a way of writing. He's just really good at it. I've read a few of his reviews, and I've just been like, wow, he really brought me into it. Like, I could almost hear the music, even though I never heard the music yet. So he did a good job at it. And Vic is just a phenomenal writer. His non-fictional stuff about growing up, or his stuff on religion, just, so good, so good. A poet. Man, a myth, a legend. Jim has written a screenplay that's getting a little bit of attention. It's not like it's been picked up, but it's moved on. I guess when you submit, you get pretty much one of three things. Sorry, we didn't like it. Keep trying, or something like that. Or they have interest in it, so they escalate it to the next tier up in the Hollywood community or whatever. So maybe a few like understudies of directors may go out and get those and read those, and out of those they look at them and they go, ooh, yeah, this is definitely something here. Then he brings it back to Mr. Spielberg or whoever, who's like, all right, this has got my attention here, so let me read it. He reads it, as do other directors who it makes it to. And I think he's only at that first tier, but he got beyond the keep trying, and they passed it along. So I don't know what's come of that since then. So he's more of a fictional writer like me. I think a fantasy science fiction type writer. Really good. I've read one of his screenplays. I think it's the one he submitted. And it was just really good. So you got him, and you got Ken. Now Ken and I and Jim have worked together coming up with a timeline and backstory for, I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but the elderly enforcers, the three old men who have now retired, and you know the story. You should go back and I want to do something with that. That's going to be something in our future. We will have some kind of entity of that. If it's a comic book, if it's a book, if it's a pitch to do a TV series or whatever, I think this is good stuff, man. I really like it a lot. So I worked with Ken, and we all just came up. I told him the base idea that I had, and we just expanded off of it because I wanted it to go in a direction nothing like Watchmen. I've never read all of Watchmen. I can't get through it. I've never watched Watchmen, so I don't really know the story, but I do know it's about years later, after you can't be a superhero anymore because you're old or whatever, you know. So it's good stuff. I think you'll like it. But I feel like not only is the internet stupid, I feel like it's dumbing us down too. Technology is really starting to dumb us down, I think. Like I don't use my brain as much now that I have a cell phone. I can just look something up, and I don't even have to type at this point. Like the speech to text to speech technology is so good now. It's like remarkable. I mean, yeah, the other way around. it does its job, and when it doesn't, I can train it to do its job, and it does it like after 2 or 3 times. Science and technology, you and me. All across the galaxy, science. Keep learning it, folks. Anywho, thanks for tuning in tonight. I know it's a little wild and weird one, but I didn't want to miss it. And I don't want to miss a thing. So if you are loving these as much as I'm loving making them, then you should subscribe. And you should pass them along to somebody else who you might know that might like it as well. Follow me on the social media bastard sons of bitches icons. Fix yourself so that people can click on them. Do it now. You win. Yeah. Don't forget to make somebody smile tomorrow, and make yourself a better person tomorrow than you were tomorrow. Let's make the world spin a little bit happier together. Let's sing and dance in the rain and the sun as one, my brothers and sisters. Live life to the fullest and love every moment of it, because you just never know when the last moment's going to come. Live in love, but not in fear. Let go of that fear. Let go. Let go. Take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and take care of those around you who can't take care of themselves. I am Jason Oliver, and you probably know this by now, but this is the road to 40. I'll see you guys a little bit. Well, what have we here? Dr. Carl Mitchin, what do you think you're doing tonight? I'm going to go have a few drinks, Mr. Oliver. Oh, just shut up. Good night, everybody.